Good morning, everybody. My name is Leticia, not Leticia, as most of you guys think my name is. So I'm very senior, East High School. So for our agenda today, we're going to start with icebreaker. I have a quick question for you guys. My academy, I'm going to talk about like my college plans, my LTI process, my product, and my reflections to so far. So for my icebreaker, I have a quick question. I want you guys to express your opinion about it. So I want you guys to tell me how do you feel about law enforcement. Do you think they're fair? Do you think that they take advantage of their authority? What do you guys think about it? I want you guys to reflect. If you have any experience you'd like to share.
I personally do not like law enforcement. You know, it just never was there. It was at one point, but then it just broke off. You know. Are they fair? No, you know, not always. Do they do their job efficiently? No, you know. So
Can you give us like reasoning?
I feel it's like they overuse their power. You know, basically they have the high authority, so they think they're better than you just because they have the badge. So
Nice generalization.
I do not agree with that. So.
Anybody else?
Like you guys said, as some goes by with the law enforcement, and it changes the way they proceed towards society. But then you gotta look at what society is sort of back to and respond back to. It's not like they're not breaking them out or doing certain things, so they have to protect themselves in certain ways, so they take the measures just to whatever they do.
I agree with Eddie, with what you said. Law enforcement, I believe they do abuse their powers sometimes, but that's only because of their defense of what people do to them, and how people treat them, how people see them. And you, Shaq?
Anybody else? Thank you, everybody, who shared. So, what's some things that I really like about myself is that I'm really determined and actually really focused on things that I want for myself. But at the same time, when I'm actually like focused, I'm really lazy. I'm always like, oh, I could do this tomorrow. And then another day comes, like, oh, I have like a week. I'm good, and I turn in all my stuff late. So one of the things that helps me a lot, which actually really motivated, is that I like to set goals for myself to help me be motivated and let me stay on track. So for example, last year I was really bad student. Like skip school, not be in school at all. My grades were all the way down. I had a GPA of like 2.0, which is not good if you're going to college right now. You know, freshmen, not good.
Yeah, freshman.
So this year I decided like I'm gonna prove myself that I could be better. So at the beginning of the year I said I'm gonna be on it. And it's like a really simple it's a basic goal. And I worked hard. I was really focused on my GPA. And I ended up with a GPA of 3.6. And it was really, I was really proud of myself when I saw the list and I saw my name on it, because it was like the first time I had to on it. So serious. So having like these small goals really helps me stay on track. It makes me motivated and motivate myself. And I really actually prove myself when I reach my goal that I could do better than I think I could do. So for my post-secondary plan, I'm like really different from most of my classmates. I'm not going to college right after high school. For certainly personal things that's going to my life right now, I just decided that college is important, but it is something that I need to take a break out of thinking about it because I focus on things that happen in my life right now. So that gives us a good thing as I see it, because I have time to like really study a lot because the college that I want to go to personally is Florida State University, which is really competitive college. Like I've seen like their scores, they have really high scores for ACTs and SATs. You have to have really high. And the GPA. So that's really what I'm focusing right now. And also on my college essay, which I'm not applying just one. If you're like going to apply for college, a quick advice is always have a backup, not just basically in your life, always have a plan B for things. But for college, have a plan B, C, D, because you never know what's gonna happen. College, not easy to get. So my LTI process, I have my internship at the prosecutor's office, and Like I say, my interview, I was really, really nervous. It was actually like one of my first actually important interviews. So I was really nervous about it, but it was a topic that, the question that she made about me was kind of like, I tell everybody about, so it was kind of easy for me. But I was also nervous on my first day there, and that I actually did work, because I deal with files. And I'm telling you, a simple file, a piece of paper, that could, if you mess up, you mess up the whole thing. You gotta go back and do the whole pack of files like that. Trust me, you gotta stay focused. And overall, today I can say that I really love it. My internship made me realize that law enforcement is the area that I want. And I'm real grateful. Thank you to Ms. Summer.
Woo! Miss Summer!
Excuse me, go back to
Miss Summer!
So this is a quick review of my resume.
Let's continue.
We'll go through my resume. We'll go through it.
There we go.
This is what I actually did for my interview. We had to prepare this to show our mentors. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. So my passion actually is criminal justice. Even though my internship is not actually the area that I absolutely want, but it's good for learning different departments, because if you guys heard about it, but when you become a detective, you don't actually get yourself hired as a detective. It's kind of as a process. First you start like an officer, and then if you can solve like an important case, and then they think about hiring you for your detective. And it's been my passion, I will say, like ever since, according to my mom, I was like 5, 6 years old. I stopped watching the Disney Channel to watch ID, which if you guys don't know, it's Investigation Discovery. And I never stopped. I still watch it today, and it's like one of the most things that I love about. And it's to be a criminal investigator. It's the same thing as a homicide detective. So the 48 hours of solving a crime is like the most important, because it's where the police, law enforcement investigators get their evidence. So, and the community is also good help for it, but at the same time, they can help, they can mess us up, giving us false leads, not helping us at all. So as you guys could say on the icebreaker, you guys gave me a talk about it, but it was really negative, which is not something that is really good, because both need each other. Because that's what's how you have a negative relationship. So my purpose is trying to help law enforcement and the community have a better relationship, come to a positive relationship. So I'm working on some quick ideas. I don't want to get into it because I'm really surprised to have for you guys for my final project. So it's basically I'm trying to understand both sides first, understand why the community thinks that way and what law enforcement, because the same way you guys have negative things about us, we also have negative things about you guys. So I'm trying to understand both sides to come into a final, that's my product, to come to like an agreement, understanding that may help everybody have a positive energy. So, pause it. I have a quick video for you guys. Don't get scared about it too much. I just want you guys to see the intro. It's about, I'm just trying to prove to you guys that we both need each other. So the community, so law enforcement, both need each other to have a positive relationship.
Good evening, I'm Brittany Bennett. Thanks for joining us. This is Alabama News Network on CBS 8 and ABC Montgomery. An early morning double homicide leaves the community in shock. And now Montgomery police need your help figuring out who walked into a bar and opened fire, killing 2 people and wounding 6 others, leaving the community to mourn the loss of a Troy University student and an up-and-coming rapper and Montgomery native. Reporter Sarah Canty joins us with a big story on Alabama News Network at 10.
2 people are dead and 6 others.
So what I'm basically trying to prove to you guys is like how basically my therapy guys would say that I've been really negative relationships. So I'm trying to my purpose is to help understand why and come to a solution. So there is a quote in Portuguese. I don't know, you guys may think that makes sense. But
I could translate.
It's
I could translate.
one hand washes the other, and both of them washes the face. So
Oh.
it's basically saying that one needs the other one, and they both need each other, basically. So
Oh, I get
that's
it.
it.
Can you say it in Portuguese? It makes more sense in Portuguese.
One mão lava a outra e as duas lavam o rosto.
There we go.
See, face it.
Jeff, stop.
One hand washes the other.
Oh my God.
Next slide.
So for my final product, I don't want to go into details because I think it's going to ruin the surprise that I have. But basically, like a sneak peek for you guys, I'm doing a survey. I have different plans for the survey. It's not going to be like what a simple survey. I just have some ideas how to make it a different one. And I have an interview set up with a police officer already that he has experience in different departments. So she was a homicide detective also. So it will be a good interview for us. So my reflection overall this year, I will say that I'm doing really good. I'm really proud of myself compared to last year. I'm setting goals. I just because I achieved one goal doesn't mean I'm going to stop there. I have like a few more quarters to go. So I made like new goals for myself. I'm trying my hard to stay focused. So my goals that I make sure doing for myself is actually to stay focused, like I said before. And I'm having a really good experience on that side. I'm really thankful for Miss Omi to get her for me. Really thankful my LTI. I learned everything, something new each day. Yesterday, I was in a new part. I'm in part 2, which is drug related. Yesterday I was in part 20 and I just did new files. I had to learn codes and stuff like that. Right, so I finish up everything every single day. It's really good benefit for me. And also my big picture experience. This is my first year big picture, and could say that I'm loving it. I love how they bring up new ways of teaching us stuff. It makes it interesting. Make it like basically myself makes me want to come to school because it's different. Love my teachers and Summy.
Yeah, the picture.
If you guys are questioning why they have a beach in the background, how is that related? The beach, this thing that I chose was like the closest one. I was trying to represent Florida. Florida is on the list of the top 10 most unsafe places in the U.S.
Florida.
So this picture is trying to represent Miami, which is the #1 city in Florida that has the biggest crime rates.
You know how much drugs are in Florida?
You guys are asking about it.
Yo, shh. Give her attention, please. Thanks.
Can I get some respect, please?
So that was it. Thank you
Questions from the panelists?
If you want to take this career outside of the state,
Yeah,
where do you want to go?
because I don't plan on staying in Jersey. I'm planning on going to Florida because high salary. So
You going to Shank?
The higher salary?
like the crime rate is bigger, so like more work, basically. More crimes related, so more experience.
Jeff, you don't get it.
Guys, quiet, you can't hear.
Well,
Can you repeat that? It was too much.
Why do you think people commit crimes?
I think, Bradley was explaining it, and for me personally, I think there's no excuse for committing a crime. I just think that your values, the way you grow up with it, is important. And if you grow up in an environment that is a bad environment influencing you to do that, I guess you kind of have an excuse for that, but that is not actually an excuse for you to commit crimes, for you to do bad things.
Putting more cops in the streets, do you think it makes the community safer? You know.
In a way, yes, but if a crime is gonna happen, it's gonna happen either way.
Do you think that the law enforcement will actually have a good relationship in the future?
If things change, yes, I do agree with that. If it changes, because not just, I know law enforcement messes up. Like a lot of police officers take advantage of their authority. So yes, but I actually do see that it's better to increase the relationship. Trying to, being positive always benefits everybody, and being negative only causes problems.
What do you think will improve the relationship between civilians and law enforcement, like personally?
I think being more understanding, because a lot of people are afraid of cops in some way. Everybody has a different opinion about it. But I just think that the law enforcement should understand more their side, and the community should understand their side also.
What are you gonna do when you said you wanted to take a year before you go to college, after you graduate? So what plan do you have for that year before, and then how are you gonna transition into college?
Actually, I got an opportunity on a law firm, and I got a job there for the summer, because I'm not going to be in college, it's going to be a full-time thing. So I just think I wanted to focus, and it's still my area. I'm not going to leave the criminal area, even though it's not a specific criminal area, but it's still related to it.
I'm going to ask you a similar question that I asked Brad. How will your experience with your LTI, or even the experience you're going to have at the law firm, how is that going to help you be a better cop?
Knowledge. Basically, I will learn more. Like my LTI, I learn more each day. Every Wednesday that I go, I learn something new. For example, yesterday, I learned so many different things. I was in a different courtroom, so different stuff, different files, stuff like that. So I just think knowledge and experience in some different departments of law enforcement.
Any more questions? Okay, we'll go to feedback.
I loved it. It was nice. It was good. You had good slides. You had good eye contact. And I just like the way you presented it. You presented everything. Okay.
Good answer,
All right, more feedbacks.
I think this was sensational.
The hand was raised. Go ahead.
I feel like you did good. I feel like you had good eye contact, and yeah.
I like your icebreaker. It connected with what you were saying. Oh, and I love the hit response.
Okay.
Overall, it was a good presentation. Loved it. Just you didn't put a lot of information in the slides, which is good because you actually got to explain it deeply from within, and you didn't look at the slides, which is perfect. So I really loved the presentation.
It seems like you're really passionate about what you want to pursue in life, and it seems like you really want to do that. And you look really confident out there, so it's a great presentation.
For your first exhibition, since this is your first exhibition, I think you did good. Because you were looking at the slides and you were looking at us when you presented, so I think that's a good thing.
All right, slow down.
The gum chewing threw me off a little bit.
I was trying not to get me too nervous.
Any more students, feedback?
I feel like you did amazing.
She did.
Sensation.
No, overall it was a great presentation. Like it was really happy with us. Also,
Okay, Ms. A?
The only negative I really have is that there wasn't like a smooth transition between the icebreaker and the next slide. So maybe if you, because we got like kind of in depth with what we thought, and then it was just like, okay, so my strengths are. So like maybe if you had a smooth transition, it would have been a little. But that's the only negative. I thought you looked very comfortable up there, and you were very nervous. I know, but it didn't look that way at all. So I thought you did a really good job on that. I love the way that you depended on your experiences and not the slides. That's a really big plus for me. And I thought you had good eye contact and good posture. So you did a good job.
Thank you.
Leticia, I thought your presentation was phenomenal. You did a great job overall. Looking around, you didn't have to look at the slides. I thought the only thing I really like take some points off were the gum chewing. When she said it was with your nerves, but I don't want to take some points for that. But the presentation itself, the fact you incorporated a video was great. The icebreaker, I like the icebreaker. I would say said it kind of the transition, but it was a really good one. Maybe I was writing on this. Do you have anything for your personal narrative?
Personal statement?
Yeah. Was that?
Yeah, I put it on one slide. I'm still working on it. I did one last year just for a quick thing, but I lost it and I think I deleted it by mistake. I don't know. But I'm still working on because even though I'm not applying for college this year, I'm trying. While I'm still in high school, I'm trying to get everything that I need. So my recommendations, I have everything set already. So I'm just focusing on that right now.
With your academics, if you could have just kind of said what classes you like. This year you've done really well so far. I know in my class you're always participating and doing everything, but in the past, what classes you didn't do well and why? I know you mentioned just being lazy, but what you did to improve upon yourself. I know I love the fact that you talked about your goals and that you set a certain goal and you seem to follow through on that. The other thing was, I wrote here, Ms. Sunny and I will both probably say the same thing about you taking a year off. It's very worrisome because we've seen kids take a year off and they never actually follow through, or they have a plan. I am very, very happy that you have a plan, that you have a job in place, and you're going to work. I'm hoping that you do follow through and go to school because you are a very, very bright girl, and you do seem to have that drive to do well. So I'm happy you have something in place. We've had kids in the past go, take a year off, I'm going to become an airline stewardess. Well, that person is sitting at home doing nothing. So I'm happy you have already a job in place. So I'm happy you do that. I just hope you follow through and you go to school because I think you're going to do extremely well in college. You have that kind of drive, so I hope you do follow through on that. I don't know, I guess it's your boyfriend. He seems like a guy I think we should have in our program. He seems to have a shit together.
Well, he did try.
He's a kid that would be great.
He did try last year and this year, but Dr. Singh
Well, I don't know, but he looks like he has a very good influence on you. I'll try to keep you supporting him. That's a good thing for you when it comes to.
Are you jealous?
On a gang,
So I think it's having certain people in your life that are there behind you is great to have. I don't know what's going on with your personal life. You said you want to year off, but I'm very happy to do something in place. Maybe you'll change that and go to school when the year starts.
I will come back then to prove to you guys that I am going to.
I hope so.
I want that on top of you, don't worry.
But you did, I thought overall, phenomenal job. Because you are very soft-spoken, and I thought you did an excellent job.
God bless.
All right, Leticia, so I love your presentation. I thought you were so confident. You used the slides the way that they're supposed to be used. Like you put bullets, you got to the point, and then you just gave us the details from your experience, from your knowledge. Like everything is up here, and you were very eloquent in giving it to us in a way that we could like really understand. And for those of us who don't really know much about the world that you're working in, you gave it to us in ways that we could digest it, so it did go over our heads. So that was really important from a presentation perspective. I love the icebreaker. The transition was a little weird, but you did connect it throughout your presentation. Like even later on, you said, "Oh, this is why I asked you that question because this is how it connects to my project and the work that I want to do." Going to your project, I think your project is like it's one of the best projects because it's. I said this to another student, but it's so real that it can have an impact on everybody in this room, right? Because we all have had different experiences with law enforcement somehow, whether we've had a negative experience, whether we had a positive one, or whether we're just apathetic to that world, it's important for us to realize that it impacts us. So knowing that you have a real project that you can actually take and it will have impact on students and adults here and other people in your community, I think that's fantastic. And I like the fact that you don't just have a vision for the project, but you're actually taking steps. So you talk about things you've already done and then what you're doing next, and I think that's important because lots of students have great project ideas, but they haven't gotten their feet wet, so to speak. So that's one thing for you to be really proud of yourself, that you're actually getting engaged in what you want to do. I really like when you talked about your motivation for yourself during your academic reflection and how, you had certain experiences in the past in school, but now you've kind of got your head in the game in a different way, and that you're setting goals for yourself. So it's one thing for me to say, Leticia, I want you to do this, or for your family to say, I want to do this, or your boyfriend to say, I want you to do this, but you're past that. You're talking about what you want, and you're going and getting it, and I think that's the key to being successful. And whatever you want to do is being able to say to yourself, Leticia, I need to set this goal. So be proud of yourself for taking your passion and taking action. I do want to go back to what Mr. Cusick said. I do want to caution you about taking time off. Maybe consider, maybe if you really do want that break, maybe just doing the first semester and going to college in the spring of 2017.
Yeah, it's not actually going in the fall.
Right.
I can't apply this spring. My college is a freshman now in the spring, but in the summer, yes.
Okay, so just think about it because it's very easy, like if you don't go headlong into it, you can get distracted, especially once you start working, and if you're working full time and you're getting a paycheck, it's easy to get complacent sometimes. So just think about that. But overall, I think your content was really great. And I just seeing you like from September to now, I think you've really grown and flourished. You came in, you kind of kept to yourself, but you've really like flourished, right? I think that's the right word. You're very much an active member of our community, and seeing you present right now, I just have to say I'm really proud of all the work that you've done. And you did it.
For choosing for president. Woo!